As you can see, as the market expected, Genesis have officially filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and there is really only one real winner over here, as Coin Bureau says, and that is the lawyers who are making bank on all the different crypto bankruptcies. So will that affect the market? We'll get through some of that today. I know some of it has probably already been priced in. It's not completely new news and was somewhat expected, but there is some things that underlying factors that I have found which I think could potentially affect the market. So we'll go through all of those and what you should be looking at over the course of the weekend and going into next week. So crypto bubbles over here, most of the market, at least on the hourly, is slowly but surely starting to turn green again. That demand is jumping back into the market. With regard to the creditors, these are the different creditors for Genesis, which are obviously going to be coming for their cash, and they owe up to 3.6 billion to the top 50 creditors. So it is a lot of money. And if you do look over here from PEC Shield Alert, they basically track the different wallet movements, and they're showing that a lot of the funds have started to move from Genesis trading from their OTC desk to different crypto exchanges. And could that mean that maybe they're going to start selling some of their assets to recover funds? Well, we'll have to stay tuned. I'm not here to speculate yet, but I am looking for still a potential deeper pullback, and I'll show you those levels in a moment. The GBTC discount, which is, of course, that grayscale Bitcoin trust, has started to come back down again over here to 42.7%. So this will be an interesting thing to watch. I don't believe that, that a new bull market is probably going to kick into place until this discount starts to move back towards the premium side. And I'm not really sure how this is going to play out. We'll have to keep an eye on that. So very, very interesting nevertheless. Today will be a quick show, by the way. I'm going to race through this. We're going to look at a bunch of altcoins as well. Fear and greed now at 45. So slowly but surely starting to move towards the neutral side. Historically, if you get to around 52, then that is going to be within neutral territory, which is what you would expect within a bear market relief rally. You could even start to push towards the greedy zone within a major relief rally, which would only happen probably with much higher upside targets. So what is the current situation within the markets at the moment? This is kind of what it feels like according to this handle, the 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗫 letter. He says, number one, stocks are down like the Fed pivot has been cancelled. Bonds up like the Fed is cutting rates. Crude oil is up like the recession is cancelled. Gold is up like the recession just started. And the VIX is at 21, like absolutely nothing is happening. The market is broken. And I did want to take a look actually at that particular chart, which I've overlaid the VIX with vertical lines and correlated that to the price action on the S&P 500, so the futures chart over here for the stock market. And you will notice that anytime that the VIX started to bounce from this lower trend line region marked by the vertical lines, you can also draw a diagonal. Let me quickly put that in actually to show you guys what I am talking about. I believe that this matches up from the past year as well pretty well. And if you do take a look at that, every single major top that we had within the stock market was put based off of an expansion from as low as from a year ago, 16. But the majority of the moves which happened since March happened from the VIX moving out of that 18 to 20 region, which is currently where we're at right now, where the reaction has started to take place. So you can see very, very self-explanatory and easy to see. And I just want to quickly zoom in and focus specifically on the stock market and take a look at this. I'm not calling for necessarily major breakdown all the way down to new lows without a possible another bounce and attempt towards the range high. So do keep an eye on that. And the levels to watch, which I've marked out over here, is still this blue zone over here at 3,802, so 3802. That is the level for the stock market where you would want to see a reaction. And hopefully that lines up really nicely with some of the crypto prices meeting their range lows or their mid-range, depending on which particular coin you're talking about. And today I'm going to focus a little bit on those altcoins. I want to just go through to show you within the grand scheme of things where those lay. After yesterday, I outlined a particular strategy that you could implement if altcoins were lagging and Bitcoin really is breaking market structure towards the upside, then you can essentially time your entry by using altcoins as a secondary means to get into a swing trade, a potential swing trade where you could trade that from the range lows to their mid-range or even possibly the range high, of which that would give you in the double-digit percentage returns just by holding a spot position, which is obviously a lot less risky, no leverage involved. So looking over here at crypto, pretty much in exactly the same place that we started the week on Monday. Really not much has changed. We're sitting right around here at that $21,000 level. And both bulls and bears are fighting very hard for this territory to regain this level. Basically, if we can hold above the white line, so anything that closes the week above 20,907 would be a break of the high time frame structure. Technically, it's not a convincing break, but if you close marginally above, even a few dollars above, then you have a technical break of structure, which is a higher high, and then you're going to be looking for the next higher low after that. The DXY is still hovering around that 102.12 level, and the low might be in at least for the week. So looking for a reaction still to the upside. Total 2 and 3, which I covered yesterday. I'll just very, very quickly touch base on that, just to remind you guys of what I was saying that we're looking at. If Bitcoin does break the high time frame structure, then remember we are looking for this. So this is lower highs and equal lows, and then a break of that above that range over there, and then that will give you your entry into particular altcoins. Somebody asked me on Twitter how they can trade total 2 and total 3. You can't trade that. I don't believe there's any index for that, unless I'm mistaken. Let me know in the comments if you guys know of an index that you can trade that on. Then that will be interesting to me. But I haven't heard of any. All that I'm saying is this is just a proxy that you can use for the overall crypto market in the altcoin sector, looking at the different altcoins. So same thing over here on total 3. The only difference between total 3 is it excludes Ethereum. Pretty much lower highs, lower lows, looking for a break back into this range, which is above the orange line, and then a break of that trend line. That is your entry into altcoins, and then you can target towards mid-range over here, and then range high. And I will cover those altcoins, the exact altcoins, shortly. I was looking at the Super Guppy indicator again. I've put on the 16-hour over here just to kind of paint a picture of what you could expect to happen on the daily. This has officially flipped green. It's something that usually results in upside momentum for at least a couple of weeks. So if that does flip on the daily, which is coming very, very soon, keep an eye on that. I think Ethereum did already flip. So there you go. Ethereum has just started officially as of yesterday to print green on the Super Guppy indicator. That signifies expansion and most likely continuation for potential further upside. Okay. Something I haven't brought up for quite a while is the moon phases over here. So you guys remember that the moon that prints on the bottom end, so below price action, and it's usually marked by the darker color over there, is usually the bull moon. You can see this one actually absolutely nailed it, which printed on the 6th of January, and that's resulted in a massive move to the upside. The reason I'm bringing this up is because tomorrow will be the next moon, which is the one that's going to print above, and that's the lighter colored one. Anyone can put this onto their charts. You put Bitcoin on a daily chart. You set MP, which is the moon phases over there, MP under the indicators, and that should come up. You can backtest it. Now, I know a lot of people immediately frown at this indicator and think, well, this is absolutely ridiculous. But if you do actually backtest it as a trading strategy, whereby you are just going to use it as a swing trade on very, very low leverage positions, historically and throughout time, it actually is sitting at somewhere around an 80% hit rate, which is much, much higher than what most people's trading systems give them. And one way that you can succeed in trading, you don't need to use this, the moon phases or anything like that. I'm just mentioning that one way that you will succeed in trading is by having a trading system or trading strategy. This is an example of a trading system, a very simple one. That is, you got one indicator and you literally just buy when you get a bull moon and sell when you get a bear moon, and you just continue that pattern throughout. And if you do have a trading system that you refine and perfect over time, that is the most optimal way to be successful at trading. So let's see what the next moon phase gives us. Maybe there's a possibility that we pull back into the zone, which the main target is for Bitcoin at 19,200 is the area that I'm looking at. But you want to see that area get brought up very, very quickly. If it doesn't get brought up with demand extremely quick and it sits around that area, then it could start to turn into a major bull trap, and then lower prices could come into play. So if we do get that move, then you're looking at a potential cup and handle. This is a bullish pattern formation where you essentially just pull back, creating a series of higher lows, and then after one big move, you break resistance. That's how the handle of the cups form. And then you pull back into a support zone. And then obviously it's higher highs and higher lows throughout. So that is what I'm watching over there on Bitcoin. Now, before we go into the lower time frames, I'm on the daily. I just want to focus a little bit on the different altcoins and just quickly cover that for you, showing you an overview of everything. So I've marked out the key horizontal levels. You can see within Ethereum, these are the levels that I'm looking at. You kind of got the range highs around $1,659. So call it 1660 as the range highs. You have the mid-range, which is this main area coming in at about 1440. So I wouldn't expect that Ethereum is just going to rally. This is not typically what you would see. You don't typically see a move off of the range lows like that, where you're literally just going to go straight up like this without any pullback into the mid-range. First, you should be looking for at least a pullback into that mid-range, and that would bring price down to around the $1,400 level, and that's where you expect the next major demand to kick in, and then you can target back towards the range highs. And a lot of the altcoins are going to look like this, so I'm just bringing this up to, in case you guys have some of these coins and you're experiencing FOMO and you're wanting to buy when things are too overextended. So if you look at DogeCoin over here, DogeCoin has been rejecting from its mid-range, and I would be looking for a pullback at least down possibly towards the 0.07 level. Currently, it's rejected from that 0.08, and you can see how sticky this level has been throughout. Recapture this, and then you can talk about getting to the range highs, and then get above that, and then, of course, the whole picture of the market starts to change radically, and then you can target much higher prices. Some of them don't have a lot of price history, so it's not a very useful charting technique that you can use. It's very difficult to chart something that doesn't have, I would say, at least more than a couple of, I would even say, months to years worth of history. And if you look at something like Optimism over here, that is, our history goes back to the 1st of June, which is absolutely nothing. That's not even a year's worth of history. But judging from what I can see over here, this would look like where you would expect a range high to get set. And then your main area of support is around that $1.19 level. So feel free to mark off all your own altcoins on the chart. The way that you do it is you simply want to mark off where price had a lot of interaction, a lot of stop and reversals. So you can see over here, bottomed, push through, consolidated around this level, breakdown, push up into this zone over here. You're left with wicks. So these are daily rejections, rejection, comes back down, holds a support, breakdown, plays around, goes from a previous support, flips it into resistance, comes back down, support over here, swing failure pattern to the downside, and then pretty much recaptures that. And now we're coming back into the mid-range. This is for curve. So you can mark off all your charts like that. I'll outline, make a mental note of the ones that are near their range low, because these are the lagging coins, where if Bitcoin does continue to rally and break out, these are the ones that you want to watch. DYDX is a good one. Remember, they have a big lock that's coming, an unlock that's coming out. And the interaction within the orange line over here is an area where I would be interested to buy this. And that is $1.15. The other one, which I've mentioned over here, is Arweave, right at the range lows, pretty much in the zone right now, around that $8.80. Chainlink almost made it to its mid-range. So this one's kind of in the middle of no man's land. You could divide these ranges up further if you want to get very, very technical with your trading. What you then want to do is you want to mark out If that's the mid-range and this is the range low, you can get the quarterly levels of each. So all you have to do is take your fib level and then you mark that out. You can see it's at the 0.5, so mid-range of these two ranges, which gives you the 0.25. So if you were to pull the fib all the way up like this, there we go. I don't have all of them set. Let's just put on to show you. I don't want to confuse you. 0.25. I don't have the 0.25. I'll have to change the settings, but you get the point. So halfway through, it's at 0.25, 25% of the way. This is 75% of the way coming up at the top. So if it can hold this level, then Chainlink could be bullish to the mid-range. And then after that, you're starting to target higher. Uniswap, similar to Chainlink, kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it did react off of its mid-range, off its range load, almost made it up to the mid-range level. Solana, it has, now this is an interesting one to look at because, of course, this one was heavily hit because of the FTX. So a couple of things are happening. There might be another range that's formed over here. I wasn't sure if I should label this as a range yet or as a level to consider, because this could all be a massive deviation, and then this is your main range over here. So keep an eye on that. But so far it's rejecting from this zone. So far it's rejecting from the $25 level, which means if it can't get back above here and get acceptance into that level, then you are looking for it to pull back all the way down to potentially $13. So that is for Solana. Fantom's holding at its mid-range. Quickly zoom in over there for you. Fantom holding at the mid-range. GMX and GNS, not much price history, very difficult to chart, but you're kind of viewing this zone at $40 as the main area of support for GMX. GNS, one of my sponsors. So far, you can see all the selling pressure that's come into the zone. The only difference is over here, you have a closing candle showing that maybe there is a bit more demand. I do think this will be a big token to watch for the future with the rise of the DEXs. Keep an eye on that, but not necessarily going to buy it up within this level. Dollar cost averaging is a different story. That might be something worthwhile to consider. Filecoin coming into resistance zone. If it rejects from here, similar to Solana, quite heavily hit. It's also one of the Genesis tokens. Then you'd be looking for a throwback all the way down to $2.50. Kaspa near its range high, not that much price history. You got this level at, there's a lot of zeros there, 0.004 would be the level for the next support zone. I'm not going to go through too many, guys. LooksRare, I'll go through two more over here. LooksRare also struggling to get back into this range above here. If it rejects, you're coming all the way to the bottom again, which is going to be at 12 cents. The last one is ENS that I want to touch on. ENS has reclaimed its range low. So any throwback into this zone, as long as it can defend this level, around that $11 to $12 zone could be a good place to pick some of that up. Okay, one more, because Lido has been quite heavily run. You can see the rejection from the top over there at that $2.66 zone. It's been thrown back into the mid-range, which is over here at $1.86. And if Bitcoin's going to play ball, I would expect that this will probably bounce from here and go back to the top. So let's just see what you're playing with within these ranges, percentage-wise. You see what I mean? That's a 36% move to the upside. And if you go on low leverage, you're pretty much getting the same to the downside. So if you are looking to trade something with much less risk and you want to participate in the market by trading these ranges, the market continues to still be range-bound until Bitcoin breaks structure, and we haven't seen that yet. So I would be taking a look at a lot of these different altcoins as potential trading opportunities. All right, moving on to Bitcoin and the lower time frames. You can see still holding above the 21 exponential moving average. I am looking for, at some point, at the very least, a test of the 50 exponential moving average. That's currently coming in at 20,265. And then some point within the next few weeks, this I'm looking for in the next couple of days, some point in the next few weeks, Bitcoin will also definitely retest its 200 exponential moving average. That's currently coming in at 18,482. But of course, it's rising. If you have to kind of draw a trend line to project out the trajectory of this, let's just take a look at where that would take us. So at some point, this is gonna get hit as well. Let's say you drag it all the way out to the same time frame as this box over here. You're looking at it hitting 20,000 around the 29th of January. So sometime within the next 10 days. So keep that in mind when you are making your buying decisions. However you want to enter into the market, that's completely up to you. Very, very low time frame. This is the trade opportunity. Yesterday, I showed you, I drew these squiggly lines. I said I'd be looking for a push up in price to around that 21,200 level, and then a deviation back below the blue box to confirm that it is flipping it from previous support back into resistance. And so far, that looks to be the case. So I am holding onto a short position over here. I've moved my stop all the way down. So stops over here. Further than break even, I actually moved it into profit. So I've moved the stop just above that wick over there at 21,255. So if I get stopped out of this, I'll be stopped out in profit. I already TP'd half, remember, over here. The other half is meant to be reserved for the breakdown all the way down to 19,275, of which I would immediately flip long, by the way, from this level. Straight away, if that TP gets hit, I'd immediately convert that trade into a long trade. So that's what I'm watching for Bitcoin on the low time frames. If you do look over here on the GMX dashboard, you can see, again, the long to short ratio. Longs are still heavily outweighing the shorts with about a 1-to-5 ratio. And when you look over here at the spot versus the leverage, spot is in the yellow or orange, whatever color that is. You can see consolidated major breakdown. So spot selling into that. Now we're consolidating again. The leverage traders have held this up completely. So there's been no breakdown because of the leverage traders holding those long positions, which we can see are heavily outweighed compared to what these shorts are. So I wanted to touch on this from Skew very quickly. Skew says that spot barely sold this news yet. The news he's talking about is with the Genesis. And he says, besides, MMs are selling into this perp short covering bounce. Usually when this happens, we nuke on this stuff. So he finds it interesting, and he's basically suggesting that maybe it's just lagging. Maybe the market is lagging the news. And unlike most times, it hasn't been front run. And then I wanted to dig into this a little bit as well. Ninja, which is a private account, so you won't be able to see it unless you follow him and he accepts you as a follower. He's showing that BUSD, so the Binance US dollar stablecoin, their market cap went from 22 billion down to 16 billion in a span of just 1 month. And then he says, why? Well, because CZ is buying all of the Bitcoin is what he means, and miners are selling to buy lower. How much more until he ends up like 3AC and Alabama? Alabama, he says, find out more on the next episode. So obviously a little bit of sarcasm over here in his post, but I wanted to touch on over here the Nakamoto list. How's it run?
How's it, Carl?
Have you got Rolexes for me?
I've got Rolexes for you, Carl. Good morning, Carl.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Carl's community. Are you guys live?
Yes, yeah, I'm live.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Here we go. Here's a Rolex
Okay,
for you.
thank you.
Here's a
Thank
Rolex
you.
for you.
Thanks.
Everyone gets a Rolex.
Okay, guys, you know the deal with the Rolex. We're giving them away still in the month of February,
I
right?
think stand up. Let me do the show. I mean,
Okay, you do the Rolex.
No, I'll do the show.
Okay,
what charts are we talking?
Okay, just finish on this over here. You'll find this very interesting. It's the tweet post from Ninja.
Hold on, let me put this in my ear so I can hear everyone.
You won't hear them. There's no one talking.
Oh, because there's no one talking. Can I hear myself?
I don't think so. I'm not on the same settings as you.
Okay. So what are we actually talking about?
I'm talking about this over here. If you go here to, so I don't know if you've noticed, but BUSD market cap has dropped in the last month from 22 billion to 16 in a month. So he says it's because CZ is buying all the Bitcoin and miners are selling to buy lower, but it's not because of that. If you look at Nakamoto list, he's showing that if you exchange stable coins for a risk asset, then it doesn't make the market cap of the stable coin go down because the sellers of the risk asset are now
holding the exact. That's right.
Stable coin.
It's people redeeming their BUSD.
Exactly. So somebody's withdrawing.
Yeah, people are redeeming their BUSD, which is it's not a good sign for Binance.
Exactly. So that's basically, I'm almost finished. That was basically my last point. So we've come to the end now, which is the part where you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification.
So I want to tell you guys something. First of all, I want to say that you guys are an absolute bunch of degens, because for those of you who watched my show yesterday, I did say to you yesterday, don't ape into the coins that we spoke about, because if you do, you will get wrecked. I did say that. Didn't I say that? And then look what you guys did. Look, I told you guys. I see Kyle's also been degening. Look at that. I told you guys, wait. You guys went and aped. You guys are now on your own. The other one that ran yesterday after my show was Conic. I saw 21. Guys, I told you guys to chill. Congratulations if you got into trades, but this is going to come back down, I think, if the market comes back down. So be very careful. The other thing I want to say is that I think it's really, really, really good news that the markets are starting to respond to news and to market and to analysis. So for the whole bear market, we never got any response from the market into any type of analysis, into any type of news. What you're seeing now is you're seeing that the market's actually really starting to respond to news. Now, what that shows us is that the patient has a heartbeat. It means that the market's not dead. It means that people are responding again. And the reason why people are responding is because if you look at the net unrealized profit and loss on Bitcoin, it's now in profit, which means people are feeling more profitable. And because people are feeling more profitable, they feel more comfortable to deploy capital into slightly riskier assets. And so that's what's happening. And it's a great sign that, I'm not going to say the bull market's back, but I'm going to say that the sentiment has changed.
At the very least.
The sentiment's changed. That's all I'm going to say. Yes. Anyway, Kyle, you can have your show back, but only after I tell the people.
Show them the watch. It's beautiful.
James, what is the vote? Black?
Or blue and gold.
50-50 for black or blue and gold. Should we give one away now?
Please. Yeah, I'd love to give it away.
Should we just give one of them away right now?
Good.
How many likes are there, James?
Let's see if this is really good.
I'm so skeptical. Yeah.
James, how many likes are there?
Let's see. 300.
300? No. I would have given away the black one right here, right now on Kyle's show. I would have given away the black watch. But at 300 likes, I'm out of here. Have a beautiful day.
Okay, there you go, guys. Ran in the show off beautifully for you. So that brings us to the end. Please make sure that you do sign up for that. Let me just quickly share the screen. Where are we? Here we go. So take a look in the description below. If you do want to participate in this, I don't know why you wouldn't want to, but all you need to do is click on the link below, sign up, make a small deposit, and take a trade. Each trade is an entry into the competition for the Rolexes, and we will be giving them away in the month of February. So just read everything in the description below. It does tell you exactly what to do. That's it from me. I will see you all on the next show. James, which thing do I click? Okay, I will see you guys all on Monday. Have an absolutely fantastic and stellar weekend. Be blessed. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all. Cheers for now.